My idea of Java oAuth2 Playground was any Java developer who would like to learn more about oAuth2 should be able to start a local oAuth2 Playground in a couple of commands where you have all the participants available to play with, like authorization server or identity server, or resource servers, etc. They can see all the oAuth2 related API calls in action. They can go behind the scene and see the background interactions where how a resource server validate the call. Are there any API calls going between resource server and oAuth server, etc. Do all of this in a real oAuth environment using Spring Boot. The benefit of this is you can go beyond the theory, better understanding. Once you are hands-on, it provides a better and deeper understanding of the concepts. And you can do all this in a familiar environment for any Java developer using Spring Boot, Docker, Postman for all the API calls, Postman collection provided along with the playground. You can just import and get started in no time. And once you are comfortable with the basic concept, you can actually import all these projects in your favorite Java IDE and make changes and take it to the next level. Let me quickly tell you what's going to happen here. You need to have a prerequisite, Java 17, preferably Java 17 JDK. You need Docker and Docker Compose. You need to clone the project. Next is there are around 5 services. You need to build all of them in Java. So just one bash command and it should build all the services required. When you build for the first time, it can take a little bit longer because it has to download a few Docker images. Once you have done that, anytime from there on, you can start a local environment by running one command, Docker Compose up. You can check the status of all the services by running health. Again, provided a bash script for that. At this point, you should be able to import the Postman collection provided along with the playground, import it, fire the commands and see of the oAuth commands in action. Once you are done, Control C if the Docker Compose is running in foreground or run Docker Compose down. Let's look at how to get started with the project. First, let's look at the prerequisite. You need to have a version of JDK. I strongly recommend using Java 17. It could work on older versions, but I strongly recommend using Java 17. I'm using OpenJDK 17 from Amazon Corretto. It could be any OpenJDK implementation. You also need a version of Docker. I'm using Docker version 20. Once you have the prerequisites available, it's pretty simple. Clone the Git repository. Next step is to build all the microservices. I have a simple bash script at the root of this project. Just run that build. It should build all the microservices locally and produce Docker images locally. If you are building for the first time, it could take a while to download dependency images from Docker Hub. But once you build it once, it should be reasonably quick. It's the time Spring Boot take to build 5 microservices. As you can see, I'm using Amazon Corretto base image Alpine distribution. Once you build, It's simple. You just run the Docker compose up. It should bring up basically 5 containers, one for the identity server, one for a gateway, couple of them for 2 resource servers, and 1 test client server. Once you have the servers up and running, you can run, I got a utility to check the health. You can run the stream bash script with health as an argument, and it should. Now we have a local microservices stack to test all the oAuth functionalities available locally. Next step I would recommend is to import the Postman project. As you can see in the GitHub, there is a Postman folder. There are 2 files under it. One is a Postman collection and Postman environment. Import those 2. You should get something like this. Now, the environment file basically contains the endpoint to the local servers. Now let's try one of them and see what. Let's try to get an oAuth token. You can see we have received an access token here. That proves that the stack is up and running. Everything is healthy.